Let's talk about the rights and duties assigned to each parent in a suit affecting parent-child relationship. The most heavily disputed rights that are assigned to parents in a suit affecting parent-child relationship would be the right to consent to invasive medical procedures involving your child, the right to consent to education decisions involving your child, and the right to consent to the psychiatric and psychological care involving your child. These rights can be divided in a number of ways. The most common way is that one parent has the exclusive right to give their consent. Another common way is that both parents have the independent right to give their consent. What this would mean is that when the child was with one parent, they would have the right to consent. And when the child was with the other parent, that parent would have the right to consent. Also, parents can come to agreements to these rights and duties. That would mean prior to consenting to a medical procedure involving an invasive act, the parties would have to come to an agreement and to consent to those. Oftentimes, the court will say the parties need to come to an agreement, but if they can't come to an agreement, then the child's pediatrician will decide. The exclusive right to designate the child's primary residency is called primary. So if one parent is the primary parent, that means that they get to designate where the child lives. This is normally limited to a geographic restriction. That geographic restriction could be the county you live in, or it could be the county you live in and any county that touches the county you live in. And there's lots of other different geographic restrictions depending on the facts of the case. It also depends where the non-primary parent lives. So if the non-primary parent doesn't live here in Texas, then it's very common that a geographic restriction will not be put in place. If one parent has the exclusive right to consent to medical treatment or psychological treatment or education, then they don't have to get the consent of the other parent. They can make these decisions. Normally, they need to notify the other parent, but they do not have to get their agreement prior to making those decisions. If the parents need to come to an agreement prior to consenting to medical decisions or psychological decisions or education, then the parties must try to attempt to come to an agreement first and then consenting after the agreement is reached. If no agreement is reached, then they may have to seek court intervention or other means in order to consent to those treatments. Rights and duties as regards to your child is a complicated matter that I'd be happy to help you with. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below or visit our website, familytexas.com.